Hello, and welcome to the Posers Podcast, the place where we skip the fluff, say the quiet parts out loud, and dig into what really matters. This is where photography, psychology, and business collide. I'm Jody, your host, and I'm bringing you my raw takes, hard wins, and a whole lot of unfiltered honesty about what it takes to build a photography business that actually connects and makes money. So ladies, grab your headphones and get your tits up and your ears open because we are going to build something really incredible together. Hello, 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 my beautiful posers, and welcome back to another episode of the Posers Podcast. Do I have a treat for you? Because every few months or so, I'm like, you know what? They're probably getting really fucking sick of hearing my voice. So I have collected a little doll, a little gift to present to you guys today. And I am actually interviewing the one and only Alex Blake of Alex Blake Photo. And she is going to come and you're going to get to hear her beautiful voice instead of my scratchy, squealy one that you always hear cussing at you. So Alex, hi. Welcome to the Posers Podcast.
Thank you so much for hyping me up like that.
You're welcome. Before we hit record just a second ago, I was telling Alex that I was sort of like studying her for the last few weeks. And honestly, it's probably been like months because you piqued my interest over on the interwebs a while back. And then I finally got the courage to jump into your DMs and be like, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? But I was telling her that she should beware because you guys all know how much I love a serial killer and the fact that I've been stalking her. But then she just told me that she loves a serial killer just as much as I do.
100%. I'm true crime fan of everything. So we're in this together. I love it.
That's because we're white women.
100%. Honestly, like all things Dateline, white women love, like we're all in it.
We literally love to lay on our couch and daydream about our house getting broken into by a murder.
Which is so weird, but I also feel like it bonds us all,
Bonds us. We don't have anything else in our culture, so why don't we just like bond over murder?
I love it.
Okay, we're going on a path, you guys. We're going on a path.
Yeah, this got weird, guys. This got weird.
It got weird. But Alex, the reason why my interest got piqued by you is because of your social media game.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
First of all, I fell in love. I'm fully obsessed. I went down a rabbit hole of your content and I was just like, this girl understands social media. Like she really understands showing up in a really like attention grabbing kind of way. We haven't even talked about who you are. We haven't even talked about like how you got started. We haven't talked about like all of your offerings and all of your things, but I want to know that piece of Alex Blake.
Cool.
No, I know. It's like literally what like
I'm like, this is such a high compliment. I feel doted on right now. Thank you, Jody.
Well, you're welcome. I feel like game sees game a little bit. Talent sees talent a little bit.
I love it.
Okay, before we actually even like pop off into that, I should be a better podcast interviewer and host. How did you get started in the photography space?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I feel like everyone these days, self-taught. I got my first camera in 2015 for Christmas. Love it. A little Rebel T5i, something like that. I never had any intentions or goals of going full-time until 2020. And in 2020, my full-time job took a back seat. I was a pastor at a church. Absolutely loved it. Loved being like with people, loved my students. But then in 2020, when it took a back seat, I was like, I love photography. And like, I didn't like realize.
I want to pause and be like, okay, so God took a back seat in 2020.
No. That'd be wild. No. But like, it is so funny because like, it was this weird thing where like, when else does the church stop? You know what I mean? And like, it didn't actually stop. Like I definitely had a lot going on at the time and I was making tons of phone calls and tons of visits, and all that kind of stuff. But like we weren't meeting every Sunday and every Wednesday at the time because I was a student pastor. So like all of those things stopped. Like the grind of ministry at that time stopped for me. And so I was like, you know what, let me just like do some fun stuff in photography. Like I knew how to work my camera at that point. I knew for the most part how to edit, but like really diving into like what my style is. And like I said, because I was a student pastor, I had lots of high school seniors around me. And there was lots of them who were graduating in 2020 and nothing else was normal for them. But I was like, you know what? I have the gift of being able to give you photos and for that to be normal for you in this season. And so I started doing that a lot more and more intentionally. And I'm like, oh, I love this. And so when everything in life kind of returned back to normal, I was like, this is weird because now I have to fit in this business that I almost accidentally built up in 2020 and like started marketing a little bit more than typical because I just happened to have the time for it. And I'm very entrepreneurial. So it was like fun for me to do that. And then eventually my husband and I decided to move to Charleston, South Carolina from Georgia, where we were before. And we're starting a church here. There's a whole story there. But with that, it was like, okay, this makes sense. I'm going to go full time. And like a crazy person, decided to move to a whole new state where I knew nobody and go full time at the same time. So that's my photography journey. I know, wild.
Because like, how does that happen where like you're moving states? So technically, whenever you're starting your business over in Georgia, you had a client base. You had that whole entire like church congregation that you already had tapped into. So whenever you moved over to Charleston, what did you do marketing wise in order to like build that back up again?
A lot of stalking people. Truly. Which
It
all
always
goes back to
comes
the serial killer.
It always
Honestly.
comes back to murder. I love it.
So funny. No, in the least creepy way possible. I really just like went on social media and found high schools in the area because again, I'm a senior photographer mainly. And so I'm like, okay, this is my clientele. And thankfully I'd built up my Instagram a little bit. And so I had some credit to it versus if you're starting out from scratch, you know, DMing a random high school senior is probably not the best starting place. You know, you got to be careful with it. But, right. Exactly. But I thankfully had a little bit of a portfolio there to be able to like kind of, like I said, give myself some credit there and just told them I was moving to the area and I would love to give them a discounted session or for some of them, I think for 2 sessions I did free. And I came twice before moving just to do sessions. I got into like a really rich school. So like my first senior was from one of the like very high-end Catholic schools here. And like I said, it's a very wealthy school. And so somehow I like got my name in there and then it spiraled from there. You know, you get one senior who posts about you and then if they're popular enough, another senior will reach out, you know, and then hopefully it just goes from there.
Well, I do just want to quickly say too that you were obviously also really good at what you were doing, but because get one senior doesn't automatically mean a business is going to explode from there. Right. It's like get that one senior and take her through your experience, blow her away, make her love her photos, make her parents love her photos. And then the word of mouth comes after that. I just wanted to make sure that I'm like, no, hold on. Let's pat your back right there because like,
thank you.
that didn't just exist. That didn't just happen out of nowhere, right?
And then the other thing too is while you're at that session and you are giving her that experience that, you know, is blowing her away, you're also taking as much content as you can so that you can share it. But what's cool about senior photography specifically is they love to be shared on social media. And so if it's shared in a non-cringy way, then they'll also share it. And so it's cool because, you know, they're not just sharing my photos on their own social media. They're sharing the story that I posted of them that night at the session. They're sharing the reel that I posted of them the day after. And for their first couple sessions, I mean, I was taking videos of everything at the session so that I could just leak and like milk all the content that I could out of this session, especially for those like free and discounted ones.
This is literally a gold mine. So I want to like dig a little bit deeper here because I come upon this a lot. Like anytime I'm teaching, anytime I'm doing a podcast, anytime people or other photographers are in my DMs and they're asking questions like, how do I do this and how do I do that? Mm-hmm. Like, give me the setup, because I say to people all the time, I'm like, hey, throw your phone on a tripod, throw your phone onto your camera, like get one of those little like connector devices, hold your phone at like in the worst case scenario, right? Like, but walk me through what that actually looks like in regards to if Alex Blake says the words like, I'm recording everything, like what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think it means something a little bit different now than it did when I first moved. That was late 2022. And so technology's changed, right? I have 3 main ways of getting content. First one is my Meta glasses. If you guys haven't used Meta glasses, either on your face, you just click record and it takes a 1-minute video, or it'll screenshot whatever you're looking at, or take a picture, I guess, of whatever you're looking at. So I use that for videos, specifically for posing videos. But I've noticed that posing videos do the best if you have that paired with other point of views. And so the other ways to do that are by holding your phone. I love a good hold phoning. I know you were just saying like last minute, but honestly, some of my top videos that have gotten like millions of views are from holding my phone. And it's cool because you can see like my lens from it if I'm holding it right next to it. And you can see the subject. So you can see that like it's coming from the point of view as the photographer. Like it's right away. You can see that in the video. And then the other one is exactly what you said, the little like hot shoe mount.
Yeah.
It's not a tripod exactly, but it's like mounts to your hot shoe and you hold your phone. Now I think I've gotten to a price point with my clients that I don't feel as comfortable asking the parents to hold the phone and take videos. So I do think it also depends on like where you're at right now with price and what you want to give your family or your session or whatever that you're like photographing, versus if you're a little bit on the cheaper end, you can give it and it's like fun for them and they're like, yeah, I'll take your behind the scenes, totally fine. But again, you want to be cautious of that depending on the price.
I actually love that you just said that. I love that you even have that kind of beat on like, because I don't know how much you've stalked me, but
Quite
I'm
a bit.
okay, good. I'm stalkable. But I love that sort of understanding of human behavior. I love that
Yes.
understanding of psychology. So like for you to even have that beat of like, no, like if I'm at this price point, I'm not running a machine that's glitchy. I'm not running a machine that's duct taped together, right? Like if you're running at that price point, you're not going to remove from the experience that the parents are also having on that photo shoot, because I have a senior in high school right now. And like,
Cool.
if I was like handed a camera by his senior photographer and be like, oh, can you get big TS for me? I'd be like,
Excuse me.
I'm not your employee. Like, let me cry over my kid right now for a second. So I love this. Okay. What would you say to the people? Because this is the objection that I get a lot whenever I talk about this. I mostly get people saying like, oh yeah, I just got so busy, I forgot. Or like forgot to set up a tripod, forgot to like, I don't know, even have a tripod that would say if you're out on a beach or something and the tripod falls over, or like to have something that's good enough that'll withstand all of that. Or I hear people saying like, that's too much. It's overwhelm to be able to think about like photo and video at the same time. Whenever you talk about this and teach this, do you get people saying the same thing? And like, how do you respond to that?
Absolutely. So that is super common. So if that is something that somebody listening to this you're dealing with, 100% you are not alone in that. It's not the way that we all naturally think. One thing I would challenge you to do is do one thing. Like you don't have to record the whole session like I might. You might not feel comfortable with that. That might not be your focus in the session. Your focus needs to be on the client and creating conversation with the client. That's okay. But at the end of the session, very last pose, say, hey, do you care if I break out my phone just to do a behind the scenes video? Like ask them permission. And that's after you've gotten them really comfortable, right? So you've like chatted with them. They know how you pose. But at that very end, when they feel comfortable, pull out your phone and ask them. Chances are they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, of course, you know? And at that point you've won relationally with them. So you have the like permission to do that. And then do your favorite pose at that time or something like that. And maybe it's not the end of the session. Maybe they feel really comfortable with you in the middle and you can tell at that point, it's totally fine to ask as well. For the most part, I've noticed if I am not super comfortable yet with a client, I'll wait until my second location with them. A lot of my tourist seniors are a little bit less comfortable because they're here just for the week and they don't know me. They don't know the location they're in, you know, that sort of thing. And so we'll do one location where they like are in downtown Charleston, and then we'll go to the beach for the second location. If you notice on my social media, the majority of my behind the scenes is on the beach. Part of that is because I love it. And then the second part of that is simply because it's my second location.
Now we all know, like an insider scoop is that you've like pulled out your camera more like once you hit that second session because they're more comfortable. I was actually, this is kind of like a little like side pivot, but like kind of same like conversation still. I was having this conversation with one photographer yesterday, I think, and she was saying to me that like she has a hard time getting boudoir clients
Sure.
to kind of agree to being filmed on the behind the scenes. And I
Hmm.
kind of said the same thing in regards to how you were saying, like, wait until you get them warmed up a little bit, wait until this sort of stuff happens. I do the same thing with boudoir, or actually, anytime that I'm shooting in my studio, I don't usually have cameras running. What
Yeah.
I'll do is like, once they're warmed up and I'm shooting, I'll geek out for a second. I'll be like, oh my God, like Instagram has to see this. Hold on. And I'll grab my phone and do like
Yes.
one quick little beat, like, and I don't have my camera going, I just have my video going. And I'll direct her through that whole thing. But
Hmm.
say it is boudoir. What I'll say then is, hey, that's not posted yet. That's just on my phone. I'm not posting anything until you actually tell me that you're okay with it.
Love
And
it.
yeah, so then after the shoot, then I'll put it together in this like bombshelly sort of like video vibe. And after the shoot, she feels like $1,000,000. After the shoot, she's on cloud nine. Like if
Yeah.
you ever ask for the permission before the shoot, you'll get a lot more no's. But if you take the videos, promise you're not posting them, and then ask for permission after the shoot, after they feel like they're literally walking on cloud nine, then you'll get a lot more yeses.
I love it. Yeah. And then the other thing too is being creative with behind the scenes. Not every behind the scenes has to be a posing video, like there's so many different things that you can do. So for boudoir, it's like, why not also get details, like detail shots that maybe doesn't show the client's face? She might feel super comfortable being like, oh, yeah, of course you can do that. I just am not sure that I want my face shown on that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
there's also like different ways to be creative with it too.
for sure. Especially with boudoir, it's always like I always tell them, I'm like, there's no face, there's no titties. Like, sorry, Alex. Welcome to the Posers podcast.
I
I'm
love it. I'm here.
I'm not sure that I prefaced you a little bit in regards to like we cuss and we talk about boobs and we talk about serial
It's so fun.
killers and all the things, right? It's a very well-rounded photography podcast.
Hello, posers. I'm here with you.
I love it. Okay, so when I seriously, like, I just want pieces of your brain because I think that you are just like absolutely genius on social media. So, like, if you guys don't follow Alex, first of all, go follow her. And then you'll see that she does these like really cool photo challenges, which I've actually thought about before. I'm like, because in teaching, I think that you always say things like, you could take a photo in front of a dumpster and it could still be
Hmm.
pretty so long as your light
Hmm.
is pretty, right? Like, you have these sort of things that you say. But you take it an extra step and you actually do the photo challenges and you like bring them onto your social media. Tell me where that got birthed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love that you're bringing this up because I'm obsessed with my challenges too. So I'm so I'm so happy.
You.
And I do not at all say that in any type of prideful way. It's literally just that like I love doing them and I love like capturing them and then getting to share them. So they're super fun. I started it just last year. So I really haven't even done a ton of them, right? Just like being able to do a creative shoot. I host an educational content camp for photographers called Photo Camp. And I love like doing styled shoots for it. But I'm never the one that gets the best pictures in the moment because I'm running around, right? And I'm like trying to make sure that all of the styled shoots that are happening at the same time are executed correctly. And I want to give room for all of my photographers there to get the best photos. And with that, sometimes I step back for it, right? I get fine photos, like it's nothing like that. But like, I hope that my photographers that are in attendance there, that my campers, get the best photos before I do. So with that though, there's a lot of creative ideas that I'll have. And I'm like, I would love to do that, but I kind of want to save it for myself. So that was like born out of that, where it's like, okay, what kind of like thing that impacts my business can I create where it's like this creative outlet for me? And that's a creative shoot, right? A just for fun shoot. But to take it to the next level, I've been watching a lot of YouTube this year, which is so random because I feel like YouTube was like really big in like, I don't know, 2016 or 20 to 2019, maybe. Like that's when like the era of YouTube was. And I just never was into it then. But for some reason, it has come back in my life with a vengeance. And I like, my husband and I watch YouTube every night. Like we love YouTubers. And one of the things that's so big about YouTube content is challenges. And it's these dumb challenges that they're coming up with themselves and they're giving themselves these really high stakes for it. And as much as I want to like be able to do YouTube content, I have barely any audience on YouTube. Like for me to start from scratch on that just doesn't really make sense. But I do have a great community on Instagram of amazing photographers, amazing friends, amazing seniors. And I'm like, okay, what if I took this style of YouTube content and brought it to Instagram and to TikTok where you don't often see that style? And so it almost like captures attention in a different way because visually it looks different, or the stakes are higher than a typical like talking head reel, or trending audio reel. Like I very rarely make trending audio on my reels. I do original audio on pretty much everything. So whether that's me talking, like I said, a little bit more talking head, or if it's a challenge, something like that, even like the music that I'm putting in it isn't a trending audio music. It's something I'm creating when I'm editing. But I don't know if that answered your question. Now I'm just yapping.
No, I loved it. Honestly, I want you to just yap because I feel like whenever we yap, it's like that's whenever your genius kind of like spills out of your head. It's
That's
like
so
whenever
fun.
you feel the freedom to just like chat and like talk about your process and the way you do things. You guys, for like just for context, the one like challenge that comes into my head quickest, I guess, easiest in order for us to explain like what Alex is talking about is like she dressed a girl up like the Wendy's like logo, right? Like
Yes.
cute, redheaded, like what was it? Like a gingham sort of like blue and white checkered like overall dress. Like she dressed her up like the Wendy's girl and then took her into Wendy's, got like a soda, french fries, burger, and challenged herself to take really cool, really like dynamic and interesting photos with crap lighting inside of a
Yep.
Wendy's. She
100%.
literally, I like that I'm talking about you as if you're not in the room. I'm like, guys, she literally did this and this and this. No, but Alex, like, you took this girl into the bathroom.
Yeah.
You took her into a Wendy's bathroom with like literal toilets and created really cool photos out of it.
It's funny because the bathroom photos are my favorite pictures from that challenge.
Like,
And I always want to
good.
put that like first whenever I share it. I want to put the bathroom photo first, but you can't tell it's in a Wendy's. And so I have to like hide it and put it later in the gallery or whatever. But I'm always like, oh, I love that bathroom picture.
Don't worry, I've scrolled through your stuff enough to know. I've gone deep into your carousels, so I get it. But it's just really cool to like hear how your brain works. And like I wonder whether or not this has always kind of come naturally to you. Because for other photographers, like in order to give them like, help to like, hey, here's how you can do this too. There's a confidence level about you that like has to just be like, oh, I'm going to like do this challenge and I'm going to put this on the internet. I'm going to go do that or whatever. But like when you first started, did you feel like you had that much confidence, or like was that something that kind of like built up over time and that now you've been doing it so much that now the confidence is there?
That's a great question. I think a lot of my challenges come from a confidence of being okay with failing and knowing that that's a really good story too on social media, and people will follow your failure, which is deep.
She's a poser now, everybody.
But it's true. You think about it and like, again, you're giving yourselves these what feels like high stakes, right? Like you're making the challenge for yourself. And there are times where I've done challenges where it's like, I think I can get this. And I'm going to put myself in a situation where it's hard, but I'm going to make it a little bit easier on myself. An example of that would be I did a blindfolded photo shoot.
I saw that.
But
yeah.
yes, and it was so fun. And that's hard. Like it was actually genuinely hard. Like I'm not lying when I say that. But the flip side to that was I wasn't walking around with my model. I made sure I'm going to stay in consistent lighting to make it a little bit easier for myself. You know what I mean? So I know that like one piece of it's going to be hard, but the other piece is going to be easier. There's also challenges that I've done where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I did one where it was like I can only take 10 photos in the entire session. And so I knew the spots I wanted to go to, but I didn't know if I was going to get to be able to go to all of those spots, because what if like the picture sucked, if she was blinking or whatever, you know what I mean? And with that one of the photos, she actually was blinking. So like, did I accomplish that challenge? Not really sure. Or there's one where I did where it was like a 10-minute photo shoot. And for that 10-minute photo shoot, thankfully, I somehow did it, but I genuinely wasn't sure if I was going to do it. I was so out of breath after. I mean, we were sprinting to each location to be able to get the photos. And at the end of the day, if I had failed, everyone still would have watched that content. And they would have been like, wait, I want to try that. Can I do that? It just doesn't matter that much, especially when you're not creating for a client. You're just creating for like fun. If I fail, who cares? You know what I mean?
Every single poser who's listening to this right now, there's no way that Jody is letting this conversation like go any further without going back to that point that you said a second ago.
Go for it.
You said, and I'm gonna like paraphrase it, I might get it wrong, so you might have to correct me if I like didn't like get it correctly, but you said that even if you fail, it doesn't matter because people are gonna watch that failure too. Go into that space because I talk about this a lot, that like when I had to switch my business into becoming a portrait photographer, not that I had to, I was a wedding photographer and then I wanted to switch into portraits and all of that. I was also going through a really, really hard divorce, a really nasty divorce. And it took a huge toll on me. It crumbled me as a human, right? And it's really hard to run a business while you also feel like you're a failure at something, right? So in speaking to that, I talk all the time about how instead of shutting the door on my personal life and trying to still run a business, I instead decided to open the door and to let everybody see me build the business through the failure, right? I spoke about it a lot. And the rebuild of my business, it wasn't a rebuild like technically before the divorce happened, rebuild of my life, but the building of my business, because I had to get a lot more serious about being a photographer. I was then a single mom of 3 boys, right? So I had to actually make money. And so I let people in to watch that whole build. And I speak about this a lot. And I think that sometimes whenever I say it, like, hey, let them in on the fact that you failed something, let them see you like try something or build something, the more that people are actually part of all of that, the more loyal they are, the more they actually like still follow. So I'm talking a lot about myself, but basically what I wanted to bring you back to there, because like in a situation where you feel like you failed at something, like how did that still grow your audience? How did that still like make all of your like OG biggest fans, your loyalists still like rally behind you?
Okay, well, first of all, love that you're super vulnerable and that you do talk about that, because I think like vulnerability is so relatable to people. When we're actually vulnerable with our failures or whatever you want to say, our hardships, whatever it is, like that's when people relate to us. So it's cool because like we can share all that we want about photography and people can ingest our content as much as they want, but they won't know us until we actually share who we are in our life and the things that we've gone through in our story. So the first thing that I think about when you're sharing that within like things that I have personally shared, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a failure because I think that would be a very hard thing to say. But my husband and I went through an infertility journey and I chose not to share about it for a while. We've had a crazy journey and a crazy story of the last few months because I decided to share it in the second week of November. And then 3 days later, found out that I was pregnant. Dude, I know. It was wild. Yeah, so I'm currently pregnant right now.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Like, thank you. But like so insane. And it wasn't anything obviously that we knew was coming, but all of my community and audience, and especially those who had been on like life journey with me before, just in general, because like your community, you can talk about it like you've got an audience, but a lot of that audience knows you. You know what I mean? Like you know each other in real life too. It's not just Instagram friends. Like there's a lot of that. But then also the more like that you meet people, the more they follow you too. And these are people that you know in person. So anyway, all that to say, I shared about my infertility journey. It was a massive thing for me to be vulnerable in that way. I think one of the things that I care a lot about is always being energetic and encouraging online. I never want to come at something with a place of negativity. Now, other people are different in that, but for me and my brand and who I want to be, that's the place I want to come from. So I had to figure out how to share about infertility from a place of hope and encouragement and still being who I am and who I want to be online. So it took me a while to figure out how to do that. And that's the only reason that I didn't share before, because I didn't want it to come from an unhealthy place in myself. But when I felt ready to do that, I was able to share. Super cool. I did like photos about it. And then on the photos had a story basically that I'd written out. one of
You're
the only
like,
reasons
well,
that
there goes that
No, dude.
storyline.
I know. No, well, so crazy because not like the only reason that I shared, but like one of the only reasons that I shared was because I was supposed to have surgery in a couple days and I was going to be out for a few weeks as I recovered. It felt inauthentic to me to not share that with people and then like share on my stories old pictures of me like a few years ago or something, like when I wasn't going through surgery or something. So that's why I shared. And then literally like 2 days before the surgery, I found out I was pregnant. So it was so cool because I got to bring people. I know, it was such a cool God story. I can't even explain it. And this is like just the overview, guys. This is not even the details. So you guys can go and look at my post if you want. And there's lots of details in there. But you'll find it like on the freaking like grid of my Instagram. It's like one slide is about infertility and the next post is like surgery update. I'm pregnant.
I mean, I've seen those posts because I've been in your stuff.
Yes.
But I didn't know like the timing context, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Then,
it was wild.
And then also I'm like, okay, but like pregnancy is so fragile. Like all of those things are so fragile. I was like, there's no way that I'm coming on the podcast and asking her about this directly. So you brought it up like on your own. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that like the posts that I saw are like, still good, still healthy, still like very much so like pregnant.
Yeah, I know. And that was the thing. Like, I mean, I shared very soon, obviously. I shared like, yeah, but it was because I wasn't getting surgery anymore. I was like, I just lied to all these people. So like, how do I explain that?
Like I'm 4 days pregnant, everybody.
Literally. No, not even. We announced the day after finding out. We hadn't even gone to the doctor yet. But it was like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like vulnerably do this. And I mean, even in my caption, I was like, this is way too early to share. And this is a very vulnerable thing. But I just decided, you know what? If we unfortunately have to walk through loss in this, I'd rather walk through it with community. And that's the kind of community that I want to build online. I want it to be one where like I can lean on people and they can lean on me. And seriously, Jody, like when I had talked about infertility and then of course shared about the pregnancy, people that I don't know were sending me audio messages praying over me for like a minute long. And me and my husband by name praying over us. They're like, I still get messages now being like, hey, just so you know, you're on my prayer wall and I pray over you every morning. I don't know these people. Like, I really don't. But it's so cool because like that's what an online community can do. But that doesn't happen unless you show your quote unquote failures or hardships or whatever. And those people are so bought into your life that you're able to pivot your content whenever you want and everything is fine because they're bought into you as a person.
I literally say this all the time. Once you build something to that caliber, nothing can crush your business. Nothing can collapse your business. Nothing can cancel you because you've built that sort of audience who will buy whatever it is that you're offering, basically.
Sure.
Because then it becomes a situation where people, and I say this all the time, I'm like, for the most part, people are not booking me for the photos. I mean, they are because my photos are pretty, right? Like, right. But I say all the time too, I'm not the best photographer. I'm not over here claiming that I can charge $4,000 and $5,000 for a photo shoot because my photos are that good. It's because of what I've built online. It's because 100%. Of that community. It's because they want a piece of what it is that I've built and what I'm doing. And a lot of times people want to come in even just to the studio just because they want to see it. Just because they want to like hang out with me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I love that. And I say the same thing. I think something that I encourage my coaching students to do is figure out why people are booking you and like figure out what it is that makes you different as a person. And then if you don't have like a trackable thing with your clients, ask your friends. What is like the one most memorable thing of your personality? Showcase that online. Showcase that in your videos or in your posts, like whatever it might be. I have a photographer friend who's come to photo camp a few times now. She's like such a great dancer. And when I say that, like you think like ballet. No. She's like the funniest little hip hop dancer and she'll make like fun facial expressions and stuff. But when I first met her, she didn't show any of that online. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because this is such a fun piece of your personality that in person you showcase all the time. It doesn't matter if you're trying to act professional or not. It just comes out of you. It oozes out of you. And this is something so unique to you. So share that online because you're going to get more and more bookings that are being attracted by you.
I literally just said almost the same exact thing to another photographer just this morning because we were talking about lead magnets and she was saying something. She's a newborn photographer and she was like giving me a title of her lead magnet. And then she said something along the lines of like, but because I'm a NICU nurse, I can blah, 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 blah. Right. And I was like,
Go back.
why go back? Why aren't you using that? Like your lead magnet, the title of it should actually say like sleep tricks for your newborn session, parentheses, because I'm also a NICU nurse, right?
Yes.
Because I have this other skill, because there's something else about me that is also interesting. And I do the same exact thing in my business too. That like I have a master's degree in psychology and I love psychology and I love human behavior. So like if I'm putting out my posing method, I'm not just going to say like, oh, hey, here's this other posing method. Oh, hey, here's this list of poses. No, I'm going to teach it as it's backed in psychology. I understand human behavior. Here's what you need to do in order to get your clients to actually relax and actually feel comfortable and actually be effortless from the psychology standpoint. And then it's riveting. It's interesting in a whole different way than just saying like, oh, hey, here's my favorite poses. Because saying, here's my favorite poses makes me swim in the sea of all photographers. But saying, I'm so freaking good at posing because I understand this point of psychology, that's like, no, wait, hold on, that's different. No, wait, hold on, I want to hear what she has to say. So like, I guess what I'm saying in all of this is that like, even if you're not a really cool hip hop dancer, even if you're not like doing crazy challenges like Alex is on her social media, or like have some, like you don't have a divorce story that you're like going through at the moment. Actually, hold on, sidebar. I think this all the time. I'm like, my content when I was going through all that was fire. It was absolutely fire. And now I'm like, and then I went through the whole process. I went through the whole process of like dating, and dating was fire because then I would talk about all the dating stories and like I'd go on a date and then come back to my stories and be like, you guys, he wore cargo shorts, get him the fuck out of my life. Like I would never.
You were just sharing everything.
Yeah, because it was fun and I like brought them along on this whole sort of story. And then I like met a guy, I stopped dating because I fell in love with him. And then like we had this wedding in Italy and like all this sort of stuff. And that whole like arc of my business was so fun and I had so much to share and so now to the point I'm like, I'm a little boring. Like
it's so funny.
I need my husband to break up with me or I need something to happen that I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm like, I just can't be happy because that's just not relatable and it's boring.
That reminds me of Taylor Swift. Which is so random. But like you look at Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift is a marketing genius and everyone should learn from her. And I am by no means a Swiftie. Like, I'm sorry to all the Swifties in the world. Like, I just want to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Honestly.
So, literally, I was about to say, like, okay, maybe she's not a poser, you guys, because she doesn't know that we're not Swifties.
That's so funny.
No, all of my posers are Swifties and they all give me shit in my DMs anytime I talk about Taylor because I think she's a marketing genius. The way that woman has built a cult is because that's what that is. That is a cult. Full
Taylor Nation moment. Yeah.
If Taylor said literally to any of them, like, hey, I need you to go to the store and buy these 6 ingredients and throw them in your toilet, they would all do it.
Oh, they would. Yeah, they would.
That's a cult, right?
And stay up until midnight to do it. Like 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we can learn from cults.
Literally the whole entire like first week of my mastermind is like how to build a cult. So like I'm obsessed with it. And anybody who can get the whole entire nation to wear orange sequins, that's a cult. I'm so sorry.
Honestly true. Honestly true. Because whose color is that?
Taylor is an absolute genius for sure. But in what I was saying, I was like, okay, like I don't have anything going on in my life right now. And so in teaching that to other people is like, listen to the things that people say about you in order
Mhm.
to know what your differentiators are. I say this too, that if you're having a hard time figuring out where your content should be or where you're a specialist or what something that you are so good at that other photographers might not be good at and that you can really stand on that as part of your content, part of your conviction points, is that listen to what people say to you after the photo shoot. So like
Mhm.
I always get dads saying to me, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right. So then I know, and then I'll talk to them. I'll be like, tell me about a time that it was really bad. And they'll tell me a story about another
Yep.
photo shoot that they went on and why it was bad and why it was horrible and why this one felt so much better. And then I'm like, that's my content.
Yeah.
That's what I talk
That's
about.
so good. The same thing as like posing for me is something that sets me apart. And it's funny because I didn't know. I went to a content weekend one time and it was Marina Williams content weekend. Do you know who Marina Williams is? She's great. Everyone should go follow her. She used to live in Utah. She used to live in Utah. Now she lives in Florida. But I went to her content weekend and I will never forget. She came up to me. She said, "Hey, you're really good at telling people what you want." I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, because, at the time I'm like, oh my gosh, this famous photographer is like telling me I'm good at something. But then after that, I started to listen exactly what you're saying. I started to listen to what my clients were telling me. And they were saying, I love working with you because you always tell me what to do. And everyone, whoever I was working with, whether it was a model who works with tons of photographers, or at the time, I was doing a ton of different shoots. So like families or couples or whatever, like everyone would tell me that. So I'm like, interesting. Then I started looking at what content performed best. Now, what best looked like was different at the time than it looks like now. But the content that performed best for me was always posing, like whenever I was posing. So that's why I really went that route for a long time with my content. And I gained a lot of traction because of that. And then, of course, once you have the base or the foundation, you can kind of branch out from there a little bit, and hence the challenges, and stuff like that. But like the best thing that I built the base on was the thing that people just said I was good at, and I didn't even know I was good at it.
Absolutely love that. And also, like, I mean, if you think about it psychologically, like not being able to pose or feeling awkward in front of the camera, like that's automatically going to be like number one pain point. The
Right.
reason why people wouldn't book a photo shoot is like, oh, well, I feel awkward in front of the camera. I'm not
Right.
photogenic. I don't know how to pose. So then whenever you're coming on the scene and you're saying like, look, here's how we pose, here's how we pose, here's how we pose, and you're doing it over and over and over again, and you're showing how good you are at it, then you're building that trust right away.
Yeah. And so you just have to figure out what you're good at and how that solves the client's problem and showcase that.
It's
I
just
love it.
simple.
It's just that simple. See, just
Guys,
math.
guys, it's just that simple. Like put a camera on a tripod and then just like do the thing that you do.
I love it. Or get your Meta glasses. You don't even have to worry about the tripod.
What's that saying where it's like it's simple but it's not easy, or it's easy but it's not simple, right? Like the idea of it is
Yeah.
so simple of just like,
Yes.
hey, take the thing that you're a superpower with and turn that into content.
Yeah.
But and it's that simple, but it's not always easy.
One of my past campers hates talking on camera. And I know that's a big pain point for a lot of photographers. She's using that pain story as her story for content. And she's saying, I really don't like, she'll get a camera right in front of her, say, I really don't like talking on camera. I'm going to do it anyway. And that's her challenge to herself throughout the, whole year or whatever. It's like her New Year's resolution. But she's sharing that with her audience. I hate talking. I'm going to do it anyway. And people eat it up. They're like, yeah, you go. I wish I could do that. So if that is your pain point, if that's the thing that you hate, share it with people and then do it anyway.
Yes. Oh my God. I just said the same thing to somebody about the fact she said to me in a question, like, hey, I don't have a lot of clients right now. I'm just starting out. Like, should I just fake it till I make it? And I was like, no, actually show exactly where you are. No,
Yes.
actually come on and say, I don't have a lot of clients right now. So,
Yes.
like, I'm going to do it anyways. Hey, I don't have an audience right now, but I'm going to talk to you anyways. Hey,
Yep.
like I don't have a business right now, but I want a business. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to keep on doing this and I'm going to build it with you.
Yes.
And that's whenever you get like that, like ooey gooey goodness of
Mm-hmm.
really building a community around what you're doing. And I told her, I was like, look, you do that, then a year from now, 2 years from then, you'll have the thing that you're talking about today. You'll
Yes.
have the thing that you're saying that you want to do. And your girl is like, hey, this is really hard for me, but I'm going to show up. I'm going to do it anyways. I guarantee you, if she showed a video from day 365 of that year challenge to what she sounded like on day one, it would be night and day. And she would be
Yes.
so much better at it. So, like, I love that thought, like, so much. What I was going to say a second ago is I was going to say, I'm going to pivot. I'm not done with you. I was not ending the call by
I
any
love
means
it.
because I want to pivot and I want to talk about photo camp.
Yes.
I want to talk about what it is because we talked about this before over DMs. You were like, "Hey, come to photo camp," and I was like, "I don't think that she's much younger than me, you guys." So I'm like, "I
Oh my
don't
gosh.
think that your group of photo campers want a grandma around." Like, if
That
you
is
need somebody,
not true. That
if
is
you
so
need
not true. We do not have an age cap at photo camp. I would like to clarify for anyone listening, including
Wait,
you,
hold on.
Jody.
Wait, hold on. That's like a disclaimer that people say whenever they're like, no, 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 we're all inclusive. I swear, everybody's welcome. And then
I promise.
I roll up in a muumuu on the beach with like sunscreen covering head to toe and a sun hat, and everybody else is out there like photo camping. I'd be like,
That is so funny.
does anybody need their nose cleaned? Like what do you guys need? Does anybody need a snack? Like, I'm good.
You are hilarious. Well, just so you know, my mom comes to every photo camp. So even
gosh.
if we didn't have other campers that were quote unquote grandma age, my mom is always there. She'll be anyone's friend.
Tell your mom I'm on my way.
100% I will.
Okay, I love that. But tell me what photo camp really, who is it for? Who is it not for? Like, actually tell me who's it for, who's it not for, and not be all inclusive. And tell me who gets the most out of it. How about that? That's a better question. And just give me the whole like rundown of it because it sounds phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, it is like my favorite part of my job in general. And you guys know this, but we make our own jobs. So so I love everything that I do, but this is like top thing for me. Like I said, it's my educational content camp for photographers. We do it at an actual summer camp, which is like the coolest thing in the world to me because I love summer camp. Loved it as a kid. I always went to church camp. It was so fun for me. And it was just a place where I was able to like unplug, rest, feel nurtured by a community. And then for the rest of the, school year or whatever, I'd go back and live my life, but it was fueled by this time at summer camp. So as an adult, that's something I want to experience too. And then I just happen to be a photographer. I'm like, why don't I create a camp for photographers? That sounds so fun.
So freaking obsessed with you. So it's actually like you guys all come for summer camp, but it's content driven. It's content geared.
Yes.
Like they're learning how to create content, or you're just providing like styled shoots and things like that for them to get the content.
It's both. So it is interesting. You say like, don't be all inclusive. And like one of my goals is to be all inclusive. So,
I'm going to get
it's one of
canceled.
those things.
I'm going to get canceled for that comment. Let me clarify.
No. Nobody clip that, please.
Nobody clip that. What I meant was there's things that are driven by me that certain women are going to benefit from more,
For sure.
right? Like, I'm not the place to get education if you're a man. Right. One.
Right.
I'm not the place to get education if you're a wedding photographer. I'm not like in that sort of sense. And like there's an all inclusiveness that can happen, but at the same time, who is it that gets the most out of photo camp?
And I love that question. Typically, but the one who's intermediate is a step ahead because they know how to do the settings, and then they're learning from the professionals in the room. Professionals get the most when it's like they need rest. They need to unplug. They need something that's just for them. So that's when they kind of get the most. But intermediate's cool because you just get both, which is awesome. We do accept guys, which is a big thing too. Like not a lot of content weekends do that these days. It's like mostly geared for women. There's not a lot of just guys content weekends, but that's something that's important to me. I met one of my best guy friends at a content weekend. And he was like, I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to come to this because I'm a guy. And so I always like to say that. And then another thing too, you're going to hate me, Jody, because it goes to another inclusive thing. But we accept 16 years up and up. And so that's been cool. I've gotten to have like a few high schoolers that have come. And that's just like the most special thing because obviously as a senior photographer, I love high schoolers. And so that's been really, really cool. And being able to do that. We do different styled shoots throughout the weekend. They are a variety of niches. So it is very inclusive. I really can't even talk. Okay. But we do a variety of niches, and I do that on purpose because I really do want it to feel like open door policy. Like everyone's going to get something from this. And then we do educational speakers this year. It is, do you follow Chasing Sunsets LLC on Instagram?
See, now there's two people who you ask me if I follow them, and I'm going to be like, no, I don't follow them
No.
because I don't follow a lot. Like I kind of run like blinders on. That way I
Yeah.
know that like everything I'm teaching, everything I'm saying is like fully like coming from my brain, and
Cool.
I don't go out. And a lot of times too, it's like social comparison theory, right? Is like even whenever you don't have the blinders on and you're seeing what other people are doing, it's almost like a distraction from what
Yeah.
you're doing. And so I keep my little ostrich head in the sand a
I
little
love
bit
it.
more. But I know for a fact that Marina and this Chasing Sunset, they're phenomenal women and I love them. And
So funny.
I'm an ostrich. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, Chasing Sunsets is Alex and Britt Hall. They're a couple. They're coming to speak at this next photo camp, and they are incredible. They are super wise and just like great wells of wisdom in the photography world. So super cool. Of course, I'm speaking. And then we also have 3 of our styled shoots that are guided this time. So that was a request from some of our campers. So we're going to try it, which is really exciting. So I have some awesome photographers coming: Sue Shutterbug, Cuenca Creative. I'm like trying to think of their Instagram names. And then Emmy, I'm going to butcher her last name, Emmy Keys Night Photography, something like that. But you guys can go look at the photo camp page if you're interested.
well,
But
we'll
yeah,
stick it in. We'll stick it in the show notes so that
yeah,
like if you're looking into this and you want to learn, especially social media content from an actual, like I hate using the word guru because it just sounds like a gross word coming out of my mouth. Like it sounds like I'm saying like poop or goop or like guru like that. Hate using that. But if you're wanting to learn the way that Alex is like cranking it on social media, then that would be obviously the place to be. So like jump in the show notes if you're like interested in all of that. You already answered my next question because my next question was going to be like, are you the person who's teaching the whole entire thing? Or did you have like more people coming? And you already answered that, which is absolutely like phenomenal. Honestly, like I just want to come and I just want to like hang out on like a zip line and like watch. Like
so fun. Unfortunately, the camp doesn't have zip lines, but they should. They totally should. We have the beach though. So like that's really
zip
fun.
lining like down into a lake. Like
Oh
honestly,
man, that would be awesome.
who am I joking? I say things like that. Alex, I don't get off my couch. I
You're
literally
like, I
like
don't zip line.
I don't zip line and I'm not cool enough to zip line. And if I did zip line, I'm so like, I'd probably fall off and hurt myself.
I
So,
mean, I'm afraid of heights. So like we're in the same boat.
well, it comes from like being in my younger years, like very much so like a risk taker, very much so very athletic, very like wanting to do things. And then I have 3 boys. And so like
Yep.
literally I'm the mom who will cliff jump with my boys. And
I would
then
never.
no, I know. I did it, and then I broke my ankle. Not my ankle. My heel. I broke my heel doing it
That's
because
such
I
a boy mom thing.
exactly. Like I do this sort of stuff all the time. Like one of my sons will like challenge me to a race, and then I can't walk for 6 months because I pulled my hamstring. Like I'm that person. So whenever I say that I would zip line, like in my head, I actually would. But now in my like 44-year-old body, there's not a fucking chance in the world I'm doing that. So
You're like, yeah, never mind, actually.
yeah, never mind at all. Alex, I feel like I could talk to you for the whole entire day
Me
because
too.
whenever I was thinking of questions that I was going to ask you, I was just like, I want to know everything. I want to know, you know what? You're coming back again because we didn't even talk about business. We didn't even talk about
So
like
fun.
pricing structures. We didn't talk about like building an actual like clientele of seniors. We didn't talk about any of it. But what I did want to talk about is your genius brain with social media. And I feel like we got through a lot of that. So
You're so fun. Well, thank you so much for having me on. Posers, it was so nice to meet you. I'm so glad that we get to hang out. Seriously, it was such a great like hour conversation. This is so good.
she's going to get off this call and she's going to be like, I feel personally attacked by the posers.
I do not. I feel somehow like really pumped up by the posers.
Like you're a poser. Like you're such a poser
I love it. Will
because
you send me a microphone that says posers?
yes. No, I won't because that's mine. But
I have it
maybe
on my podcast. Like,
yeah, oh my God, could you imagine? Maybe a hoodie. I'll send you a hoodie maybe. There's not a
take
merch
that.
line yet, but there's a lot of sayings that we could use to come up with a merch line.
Amazing.
So, I know, right? But because you do not like Taylor Swift, and because you said something like really deep and amazing earlier about like sharing your failures, like you're a full-blown poser to your core. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye for now, friends.
Bye.
Okay, so that is a wrap on this episode of the Posers Podcast. If you loved it, please subscribe, rate, and review, because honestly, algorithms are needier than all of our ex-boyfriends combined, and ladies, I need all the help I can get. If you've got thoughts, questions, love letters, even hate mail, please send them my way. I actually read every single one of them. So until next time, stay bold, stay messy, and don't let the bullshit win. Tits up, ears open, and go build something incredible. Bye for now, friends.